Do you think in a first responder role that some people struggle to actually go and get help because so many of us that have done these jobs put our whole identity in the job title and don't look outside of that? Because I know a lot of people that I've talked to through this platform, let's take, they were a patrol officer for 20 years, right? So that almost becomes who they are. That's their entire life. They only hang out with cops. They're always at work. They're always thinking about calls. So when they leave that profession, it's almost like they've lost their identity and they don't know who they are anymore. So would you say that maybe part of that lack of going to get help would be because if I do go talk to somebody, I almost lose that identity of this is who I am because I am a police officer versus, hey, I'm a person. I need to go and get healthy, but I can't break free from this. It's almost like that's
Hmm.
that's all I have is this job. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it in that way. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about people that I've seen in my practice and then people in, other people's practices, like case studies, that maybe are written clinically, conferences that I've attended, like trends between that. And I think you might be onto something. Generally, when you just back up and you think broadly about why people end up in therapy, it's people that are ready, willing, and able. So, regardless of how much of their identity is or isn't in the occupation and how much they have to lose if they have to come to terms with maybe the fact that it's not useful for them or helpful for them or what's best for them in the moment, I think it's a sign that they're not ready to face whatever it is that's going on. And a lot of it has to do with lack of insight. If I'm just going through the motions, maybe it's not as bad as it really is. But if I bring awareness to that thing, so now I have to recognize that I've dedicated 100% of my life to the job, and there's nothing, if I look in the rearview mirror, like as hobbies, interests, activities, friends, spirituality, family. If they slow down and they don't have that time to slow down to recognize that, they just go 100 miles an hour at the job. Why change until there's a problem that they've identified is a problem for them? And I think that's generally when people end up in therapy, was there's a lot of stuff that's been going wrong for a while, but it's the intensity to which it's going wrong that makes them wake up a little bit. So it's almost an I have to do this, not like it's a choice to do this. And a lot of my conversation with first responders is to empower them to make the choice earlier, so it's actually a choice
Yeah.
as opposed to being something that's forced upon them and actually dictated by other people, especially people they might not want to have to listen to in that moment, like an
Hmm.
agent's telling them to get the help.
That makes a lot of sense, and it almost makes you think, why don't they try to do this early on in the when you're